What if I told you that you're not here by accident? That your sensitivity, your emotional depth, your ability to feel others' pain as if it were your own is not a burden, but a sacred calling. You see, most people walk through life asleep. They hear noise, but not the music. They see people, but not souls. But you, if you're watching this, there's a reason. Something deep inside you knows there's more. You've always known, and that whisper of knowing, that's the first sign. Let me take you on a journey. I once sat in silence in a Himalayan cave for 3 days. No food, no words. Just the mountain, the wind, and the beating of my own heart. On the second day, something strange happened. I felt the sorrow of the world. Not just my own grief, but a torrent of emotions from people I've never met. A mother crying for her child in a war zone, a boy in a city feeling invisible. It hit me like a storm. I wept uncontrollably. And then I understood I am an empath, a chosen one. But not in the way social media memes have watered it down to mean, not just someone who feels deeply or can't deal with toxic people. No, a true empath, an empathic chosen one, is something far rarer. Empath, we are not made. We are remembered. Our souls were carved in sacred fire. We volunteered to return in this time, in this density, to carry a frequency that is nearly extinct. You might be one too. And if you are, you've probably asked yourself this question at least once. Why do I feel like I don't belong here? That's the first clue. Empathic chosen ones often feel like strangers on a strange planet. We look around and see people chasing things, money, fame, validation, and we feel a quiet ache in our chest because deep down we're not chasing anything, we're remembering. Remembering a world where love was the currency, where truth was the language, where energy was visible and sacred. We remember unity, and in this world of separation, that memory hurts. You feel it too, don't you? You walk into a room and feel the energy before anyone speaks. You can tell when someone is lying, not because of their words, but because of the vibration behind them. You feel overwhelmed in crowds, not because you're introverted, but because you're absorbing everyone's unresolved pain. That's not imagination, that's a gift. But with every gift comes responsibility. Being a chosen empath is not a badge, it's not a trend, it's a path of initiation. The world will test you, you will be misunderstood. People will call you too sensitive, too emotional, too intense. Why? Because you mirror their truth, and most people are not ready to see it. So let me ask you this. What if your pain is not a curse, but a compass? What if every heartbreak you've experienced was preparing you to hold space for others who would break? What if your anxiety is not dysfunction, but your soul's radar picking up frequencies others ignore? Being a chosen empath means being a bridge between worlds, between people, between the seen and the unseen. We are translators of silence. We hear what's not said. We feel what's been buried. We alchemize what's been broken. But here's the paradox. Most chosen empaths forget who they are. Why? Because the world teaches us to suppress our sensitivity, to toughen up, to numb out, to fit in. So we do. We shrink, we silence our truths, we question our intuition until one day we break. And that breakdown, that's the breakthrough. That's when the remembering begins. You start noticing patterns, synchronicities. You begin to feel energy again. People begin to open up to you without knowing why. You see through masks. You speak truth that shakes people. You cry for no reason and then realize you're not crying for yourself. You're transmuting generations of pain through your body. That's the second sign. You are a transmuter, a sacred mirror. You don't just feel emotions, you process them for others, for your ancestors, for the collective. And that's why it's exhausting. That's why sometimes you feel like hiding from the world because you're doing the work of many, but you're not alone. There are others like you scattered across the globe. Quiet, luminous souls who carry the codes of the new world. We don't have uniforms, we don't have temples. Our altar is the heart, our prayer is presence, and our temple is wherever we stand. So how do you know for sure you're one of us? Let me go deeper. Do you feel called to help others even when you're hurting? Do people open up to you within minutes of meeting you? Do you feel drained after spending time with certain individuals, even if they didn't say anything negative? Do you sometimes wake up feeling heavy as if you've been working in your sleep? If yes, then you are not just an empath. You are an energy worker, a healer in disguise. And you don't need a business card or a certificate. Your aura is your signature. But here's the challenge. If you don't protect your energy, the world will consume it. So let me give you something practical. 3 things every chosen empath must practice. 1. Hydrogen hygiene. Every morning before you check your phone, check in with your soul. How do you feel? What are you carrying that's not yours? Imagine a light surrounding you, a golden sphere. Breathe into it, strengthen it. This is your shield. 2. Radical boundaries. You are not here to fix everyone. You are not a dumping ground. Say no when your body says no. Respect your own space. Your energy is sacred. Treat it as such. 3. Sacred solitude. You need time alone. Not because you're antisocial, but because your soul speaks in silence. Take time each day to retreat, to recalibrate, to remember who you are. And here's the truth. As you rise in your awareness, you will lose people. You'll outgrow relationships, you'll become too much for some, and not enough for others. Let them go. You are not here to be understood by everyone. You are here to be authentic, and in your authenticity, you will find your tribe. So let me ask you, what are you still holding on to that is not yours? Let it go right now. Breathe it out. You are not here to carry the pain of the world alone. You are here to awaken it, and awakening begins with remembrance. Remember, you are not weak because you feel deeply. You are powerful beyond measure. Your sensitivity is your superpower. Your empathy is your compass. And your soul, your ancient, radiant soul, chose to be here now in the midst of this chaos to anchor light. Because when the world forgets how to feel, the empath remembers. When the world forgets how to love, the empath becomes love. And when the world forgets its soul, the chosen empath hears its cry. You are not broken, you are breaking open. You are not too much, you are the medicine. You are not lost, you are being initiated. The universe does not make mistakes, and it did not make one with you. To those who see the unseen, who feel what? There is a sacred truth that no one tells you when you begin to awaken. Before the empath becomes a healer, they must first become a warrior, a spiritual warrior. And this path, this solitary soul-forging journey is not a punishment, it's a preparation. Let me ask you something. Why do you think your heart has been broken so many times? Not just by lovers, but by friends, family, even strangers. Why has your kindness been met with betrayal? Why have your purest intentions been misunderstood? Why have you spent nights curled up in the dark, wondering if anyone will ever really see you? The answer is simple, and it's brutal, because the universe was chiseling you. Who you are now is not who you were before the pain, before the abandonment, before the confusion. Something happened in the fire of your suffering. Your soul was tempered, strengthened, refined like a sword in the forge. Because only those who have walked through darkness without losing their light can lead others home. Empaths are not just feelers. We are initiates, and that initiation almost always begins in solitude. I know what it's like to feel alone in a room full of people, to be surrounded by noise and yet feel unseen. I know what it's like to be the one who listens deeply but has no one to talk to, the one who supports everyone else but silently collapses when no one is watching. That isolation, that feeling of being different, it's not random, it's sacred. Because before you can carry others, you must first learn to carry yourself. Before you can hold space for their healing, you must first hold space for your own. And that takes time. Silence, space, aloneness. Solitude is a cocoon, the darkness before the bloom. It's in the silence that you begin to hear the whispers of your soul. It's in the stillness that you remember your power. Most people run from silence because they're afraid of what they'll find. But you were born to sit in the silence and translate it into music. What most call loneliness, we transform into sacred solitude. But here's the paradox. The empath's heart is wired for connection. Yet our journey begins with separation. Why? Because the world cannot give you the validation you seek, not until you give it to yourself. You must first become your own home, your own source, your own sanctuary. Then and only then can you be a sanctuary for others. So let me ask, have you made peace with your solitude, or are you still resisting it? Because resistance prolongs the pain, but surrender transforms it. You are not alone because you are unworthy. You are alone because your path is sacred. You are not isolated because you're broken. You are isolated because you are being initiated. Every chosen empath must walk through the valley of shadows before they become a beacon of light. That's the path, that's the price, and that's the power. But understand this solitude is not forever. It's a season, a sacred one. And when it ends, when you emerge, you will not be the same. You will be fierce, not in an aggressive way, but in a grounded, quiet, unwavering way. The kind of fierceness that comes from knowing who you are, from having seen your own darkness and choosing love anyway. And that fierceness, that's what makes you a leader. You see, the world doesn't need more influencers. It needs more initiated ones. People who have alchemized their wounds into wisdom. People who lead not from ego, but from empathy. People who don't just talk about healing, but embody it. That's you. Or it will be if you don't give up. And I know sometimes sometimes the weight of the world feels unbearable. Sometimes you feel invisible, like no one understands you, like your gifts are too much. But let me tell you something. I've learned from standing on the edge of that abyss. Your depth is not a burden, it's a bridge. Your sensitivity is not a flaw, it's a frequency. Your tears are not weakness, they're a form of baptism. You feel deeply because you are deeply connected to the source of all things. You are a vessel, a conduit. And when your heart breaks, it's because the divine is trying to pour more light through you. So don't close it, don't harden, don't numb. Let it break, let it open, let it transform you. Because one day, and this is a promise, someone will walk into your life and say, "Your presence healed me." And in that moment, everything will make sense. Every heartbreak, every lonely night, every tear, it was all preparing you to be that presence. But here's the truth, most won't tell you. Your healing journey is not linear. You will rise and fall. You will feel whole one day and shattered the next. That's okay. That's part of the spiral. Healing is not about becoming perfect. It's about becoming whole. And wholeness includes the cracks. So stop waiting to arrive. You are already enough right here, right now, in your mess, in your magic. You are enough, and if you ever doubt that, remember this. The world doesn't need you to be perfect. It needs you to be real. Because your authenticity, your rawness, your truth is medicine. So let's talk about purpose. Many empaths wonder, what am I here to do? They feel this inner calling but can't quite put it into words. Let me give it to you plainly. You're not here to do. You're here to be. To be light in dark places, to be love in the face of hate, to be presence in a world addicted to distraction. And your very being, when aligned, is enough to shift timelines, to heal lineages, to activate others just by existing in your truth. But again, this requires one thing: courage. The courage to walk alone when everyone else is following the crowd. The courage to speak truth when it's inconvenient. The courage to feel, to cry, to love deeply in a world that numbs. That's why your path begins in solitude. Because only in solitude do you develop the clarity and strength to walk your own path without needing external approval. So if you're in that season right now, if you're alone, hurting, questioning everything, know this. It's not the end, it's the beginning. You are not being punished, you are being prepared. And when the time comes, you'll understand why you had to walk through the fire. Because you'll meet someone in their darkness, and you'll be the only one who can guide them out. Not because you read it in a book, but because you lived it. That's leadership. That's the path of the empathic chosen one. You are here to lead, but before you lead the many, you must learn to lead yourself. And that begins in the quiet places, in the inner battles. No one sees in the silent tears, in the sacred rage, in the moments when you choose to keep your heart open, even when the world gives you every reason to close it. That is the path of the spiritual warrior. And you, my friend, are already walking it. So again, I ask you, have you honored your solitude, or are you still waiting to be saved from it? Because no one is coming to save you. You are the one you've been waiting for. And when you finally see that, when you stop running from your pain and start listening to it, everything changes. You begin to walk with clarity, with power, with peace. Not because life is easy, but because you've remembered who you are. You are not just a person, you are a presence. You are not just a soul, you are a signal. And when you tune into that signal, when you live from that place, you become unstoppable. You become the light that others gather around you. Become the teacher whose life is the lesson. You become the empath who no longer suffers under the weight of their gift, but rises because of it. You become the chosen one who finally chooses themselves. And that, beloved, is when the real journey begins.